Professional athletes can't get enough of this Jewish entertainer.
I showed up to the Angels Stadium. I walked down to the dugout where Trout was. He was more excited to see me than I was to see him.
But that wasn't always the case. It's tough being a public performer as an observant Jew.
The person on the spot asked me if I would take 10 grand to fly to LA and perform for a certain group of YouTubers who are completely the opposite of what the Torah is about.
What do you do?
10 grand, fly to LA, be on this channel that has millions of viewers. That's a crazy decision to make.
So, has it hurt his career?
If anything, it's the opposite. When they see that you're real with yourself, they respect what you do even more.
Stick around to the end of the podcast to see some of his live performance.
You have a number between 1 and 100?
Let's go! You're crazy, bro. Shlomo, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like I'm gonna butcher what you do, because like I feel like magician is not like a fair title. So what do you do?
I like to say magician just because I feel like it incorporates everything, but mind reader, illusionist, magician, mentalist, legend. I don't know, whatever you want to call me.
So you already know all the questions I'm gonna ask
basically.
you. So there's no point in doing the podcast.
All right, see you guys.
I'm assuming this is something that you love doing, and you don't just become an expert.
Yeah.
You're probably doing it since you were 5 years old, 6 years old. No,
not even.
When?
No.
Like what?
I got into it a little later. Like I was 14.
14.
When I like started just messing with a couple card tricks, some basic stuff. Honestly, it was my ego that started magic for me. Like no jokes. Like I just saw it. I'm like, I could probably do that. That's pretty cool. People like people are giving these people good reactions.
I want that.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Got it.
I want that, validation. So yeah, I started like getting into it. I don't think I was that good, but I think that I thought I was pretty good. So
it's all about the confidence.
It could be that's how it is now too. I'm not sure, but no.
We'll find out.
But I feel like a lot of people get into like hobbies and trends and whatever, and they phase out of it. I don't know. I feel like
with it.
I feel like it was a good thing that I got into it a little bit of an older age because I was able to appreciate it more. Like it wasn't just like I was 5, bought a magic set, everything else in the garbage, and that was the end of it. It was more of like, okay, I actually get what this does and what you could accomplish with this. And
let me ask you, did you learn a lot of your tricks on YouTube? I feel like
in the beginning, 100%, like
yeah.
everything. It was like a great platform. There was so much. This is 12 years ago already, but it was really like the beginning. And I remember like the first couple channels that were like completely focused on teaching magic, and they were awesome. And it's funny, if you go now, those channels got lost. Not all of them, but some of them got really lost, like in the mix, because there's so much more. But yeah, it was awesome. There was like 3 or 4 channels that I watched every single day, learning new moves, learning new tricks.
I was the same with cooking.
Yeah,
I like knew every cooking show. I was like,
these are what we call cheese blintzes.
Yo, make
holding
me something.
everything. Dude, I haven't cooked in so long.
By the way, that's
since
the
I got
same
married.
thing.
That was it. I haven't cooked in forever.
People will come over to me and they'll just be like, "Yo, do a trick," and I'm like, "Bro,
it doesn't work like that."
I mean, sure, maybe sometimes, but like, that's like going over to you and being like, "Yo, make me a pasta right now." Like, no.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, a misunderstanding when it comes to social media, because you feel like you know the person because you see them all the time.
Yeah.
That when you see them in person, you're like, "Oh my God, dude, do a trick for me."
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm being a little bit
facetious,
yeah. But at the end of the day, if someone asks me, like, majority of the time, I'll do it. My wife hates it, but I'll do it. Like, she's like, "Oh, we have to go." Like, I'm like, "No, I gotta show them one thing." Like.
Yeah, show some love.
Yeah, no. So I really do, because I appreciate like that. I don't take what I do for granted, and I don't take the fact that some people know who I am or performing. I don't take any of that for granted or where my career is at. So I always love to kind of like pay back a little bit. So if someone asks me, I'll generally do it unless like it's not the right time.
Off the record, like people will be like, "Yo, like, you want to interview me now? Like, I want $100 bucks." Like, I don't know.
That should completely be on the record, by the way.
I don't know. I don't want to like push people away from saying what's up.
Yeah.
Did you think that you were gonna have to sacrifice being an observant Jew to do magic?
It's a really interesting question. I don't think I ever thought about it black and white like that. I'm a very much like as it comes type of person. So I try not to, worry so much about what's going to be in the future. I try to like kind of stay in the moment now and what works right now. It's not an easy thing to do, but I try my best. And I think that it was never that black and white. I think it's just as it goes. There are certain things that, like you have to make decisions on how you want your life to look and how what you think is the right thing to do. And I think that there are more pressure times for sure, because magic.
For example,
I mean, magic is not. I mean, this is a very specific example, but I performed for someone on social media once, or a social media influencer in the non-Jewish world. I think 4 or 5 million followers. The person on the spot asked me if I would take 10 grand to fly to LA and perform for a certain group of YouTubers who are legitimately not it's completely the opposite of what the Torah is about. And in that moment, it's like,
what do you do?
10 grand, fly to LA, be on this channel that has millions of viewers, versus say no. Like, that's a crazy decision to make.
What was going through your head?
It was tough. It was tough because I was trying to rationalize, like, the entire time. Oh, you know what? Like, I'll just make sure they know that not to post me in this situation or that situation. At the end of the day, that's not my decision. So at the end of the day, I said no. And to be honest, the biggest bracha came out of it. And I think my career is where it is because I made that decision.
Wow.
No jokes. Like, I had opportunities that came after that I believe I never would have had if I would not have made that decision.
Why is it important for you to, like, stick to observance? A lot of, at least when I was growing up, a lot of my friends who took, like, I would say, like, the non-traditional paths, whether it's, like, music, and basically anything outside of, like, getting a degree or getting, like, a normal
100%.
job. Even what we're doing here, like, creating content, that, like, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you would have thought, okay, I have to become a YouTuber. Like, I'll have to sacrifice on, like, some of my observance to do that. Why is it important for you to, like, stick to that?
Because that's what I believe. That's who I am. I think that, growing up and being in yeshiva and, being the person that I am today, I don't think there's a contradiction. I think that it's not too difficult to believe in what you believe in, do what you believe is right, and at the same time do something that you wouldn't expect to be able to do both. Meaning, like, for me, so that's being a magician and performing for athletes and celebrities and people that are in that world, and then also just being my own person, going to Minyan 3 times a day, learning a first Seder in the morning. They don't contradict each other. I'll take the calls. I'll do my business at 1 o'clock. I don't have to do it at the entire morning. I can spend a few hours in the morning learning. I have that ability. Most people can't say that, which I'm very blessed. But they don't contradict each other. If anything, it's the opposite. People respect it. When they see that you're real with yourself, they respect what you do even more. And they realize that you're not selling yourself out. And that, if anything, makes it way better.
Give me a scenario where you were just kind of being yourself and you were being respected for that.
Yeah, I think anytime I'm in a setting where people aren't used to wearing a yarmulke or, seeing a yarmulke, I mean, this was an awesome example. I had my tzitzis out, and I was wearing a yarmulke in a lot of my video. I went to go perform for basically one of the best players to ever exist in Major League Baseball, Mike Trout. And I put the whole video on YouTube. It was an awesome experience. That was one of the scenarios that came out of me saying no to that other situation.
Wow. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Which is wild.
I saw the video, by the way. It was really awesome.
So, like, I'm clearly from, like, I'm not trying to hide it. And there's another baseball player, Alex Bregman, who's also top 20 in the league. He saw the video, saw that I was clearly Jewish,
right?
And called me up and said, "I love what you're doing. I'm Jewish. You're Jewish. I love that you're hustling this. I film some stuff during the off season for YouTube. I want you to come down and hang out. And like, I think that most of the reason, if he just saw some random magic trick, I don't think he would have said anything. But the fact that he saw that I was actually, you know, doing what I was doing, wearing what I was wearing, like that impressed him even more. And that's what kind of drove him to be like, you know, this kid's different. Let's let's do something.
Why do you think there's a general feeling in our community, and that's like the large community, that you kind of like, it's either or, like you sacrifice on, you know, these like alternative professions, let's say, or like you gotta just like stay in the community? Where is that coming from? Where do you think it's coming from?
It's a good question. I think people are nervous, maybe. I don't have an actual answer for this.
I don't either have an answer. I'm trying to figure it out.
It's a great question. I think that there's kind of like what's normal, and sometimes I feel like people are scared to go out of that box a little bit, whether that be for shidduchim, or they don't want to change their way that people look at them, or what yeshivas they're in, or what's going on in their life.
Right.
You could take this as a plug for Waterbury, but there's like a funny thing. Like my brother was there, and people were like, there was like a question going around like, are the boys that go there more talented than most other yeshivas, or is it the yeshiva that brings the talent out of them? Right.
For those that don't know what Waterbury is, it's like it's a more open yeshiva for the guys to kind of like express themselves.
They have a very relaxed, way of going about.
It's not like the traditional yeshiva setup, essentially.
No, not at all.
You can look into what the yeshiva
Not
is,
at all.
but that's the concept.
And I learned in their base measures for 2 years, so.
My brother went to Waterbury.
A lot of the people there I learned there. My brother learned there, and I think their hashkafa, like, in the way that they go about thinking about life, is awesome, and like they're really like, I think especially today it's very important, like, to give kids that space. You
didn't always. I'm saying you like, your family's not like a Waterbury family.
No, not at all.
You went to, what yeshiva did you go to?
So I learned in Chavetz Chaim for a while. I was there throughout high school, and then for a bunch of years at Beis Medrash in Israel. And then when I came back, I went to Waterbury Beis Medrash. I had known some people there. I felt like it was the right move at the time, and it was, most definitely, because that's where I learned about life. Like, that's how I,
Did you feel that contrast of the almost like the perspective of, hey, you can, because I know Chavetz Chaim is known for a little bit like to be in the world, without getting too nerdy on like all the different hashkafas of all the yeshivas. It's like, do you feel like maybe that step of being in a more open-minded yeshiva gave you that
100%
boost to like say, I got this?
I think that it really opened me up to be more like relaxed with who I was as a person myself, because I remember, it's funny, like one of the first weeks I was there, I don't think I ever shared this story. This is something like, people ask me about Waterbury Beis Medrash. This is like the first thing that pops into my head. This like stuck with me forever. Like, I was there, and it was the middle of second Seder, and this kid who was trying to get back to Baltimore had asked me, he's like, yo, do you mind, can I get a ride to the train? Which was like 30 minutes away in Bridgeport, so it wasn't close. It's like 30-minute drive there, 30-minute drive back. And in my head, I'm like, okay, sure, why not? But I was like, all right, I gotta ask, like, let me, I don't know if they're gonna let me take you. Like, I told them, I'm like, I don't know if they'll let me take you. So I went over to my Rebbe, Ray Oberlander, and I said, do you mind if I give this guy a ride? I know it's like in the middle of second Seder, but can I give this guy a ride? He really needs to get to the train. He looked at me like I was crazy. He looked at me, he's like, that would be awesome, please, like, whatever. And like, I think a switch like flipped in my brain, like, at that moment. I was like,
oh, I see where I am.
I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. Like, because previously, like, it was like, you'd have to ask, can I leave second Seder? I don't know. But like the Ben Adel Machavero aspect of like, of what they were trying to teach there, and just show like he doesn't have a ride to the train. He needs to get home. Of course, you're a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Why not?
What would you tell a kid, 18 years old, 16 years old, 15 years old, who feels like they are stuck in, they can't fully express themselves, or a little bit stuck in like maybe this box that exists in the world?
100%. I think every community is different. That's also,
every community is different, and we're not pointing fingers here. The point is not to point a finger. The point is to give to give someone food for thought of like, okay, where can I take my life, you know?
So I grew up in Queens also. So Queens is big melting pot of every single Jewish community in the world. Like there's no like specific one type there. So I think I was a little bit desensitized to start. So meaning like I was a little bit more open to kind of share what I was doing more like openly. I think Queens is just a very no definition type of place.
Right.
This is what I believe. I think that it's very, very important to really be yourself, and that's where you'll be the happiest. But you have to be honest with yourself. You can't. I think it's a slippery slope, because I think that a lot of times, and especially in our brains, we want to rationalize certain situations. Very slippery slope.
Yeah.
But if you sit down and you're really honest with yourself and you say, okay, how could I do the right thing, but also do what I enjoy and what I like? So for me at the time it was magic. For somebody else it could be music. It could be art. It could be whatever you're into. I think you have to sit down and say, okay, let me come up with a little plan, one step, nothing crazy because it's impossible to know. But how could I make a small plan right now to be doing what I want to be doing, and at the same time focusing on, let's say, learning and davening or midos or whatever you're working on at the time. I think it's important to know both, but just be honest with yourself. Like, be real.
Dude, God made every single one of us unique, with a unique set of skills, talents, whatever, and we're supposed to bring that to the world.
There's a famous Gemara that everyone quotes me. Everyone loves quoting me this Gemara, and now I know it because everyone quotes it to me. But there's that one Gemara with it talks about how
he's low key a Bucky, but
no, not at all. Actually, I wish. But there were these jesters, and they were the only ones to be Tikun Olam Haba, and it just shows when you give people simcha, that's how you're Tikun Olam Haba, and it's real. Like I really believe, like when I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, sometimes it could be scary, and I say to myself, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, I don't know, like, you know, like, right. Is this what I should be doing?
It's a very different thing than what most people are doing.
Exactly.
And I think that's also where people get tripped up, is being an individual means that you have to like kind of separate yourself from what everybody else is doing and where everybody else's goals are, and say like, what do I want out of that? Yeah. And it doesn't have to, again, we were talking about before we started hitting record. In life there's like extremes, and I think you can 100% be a part of a community,
right,
and be fully integrated, and also be doing your thing. Like I feel like you're a perfect, that's why I wanted to talk to you. You're a perfect example of someone who's taking observance seriously, taking and not just like, you know, there's all types of Jews and all types of methods. You're clearly like in the yeshiva world doing your thing, but at the same time you're pursuing a passion.
Yeah. And
you're hanging out with celebrities and things like that. So it's like it's an amazing balance, and it's doable, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So awesome. Okay, so
also, but just to expand on that for a second, I think people don't realize how actually accessible it is. Like I think people are like, since like I'm not going to be able to go full force, why should I start at all? And I think that's a big mistake, because I don't think people actually know how to make a full plan to have an end game. Meaning, like, what do you think full force is? Like, what do you think that is? There's no definition of what you need to do to become successful in something.
Yeah.
But I think, again, take it one step at a time, focus on what you're doing, and I promise you things will pan out. If you really put work and effort into it, it will work. It will pan out. Like, there's no question. Like, again, like, and before we were talking about this also, we were talking about like the slow growth of starting something new and working your way up. If you really work at something, look back 6 months, look back a year, and say, I promise you'll say to yourself, whoa, I did not expect that. I did not expect to, you know, have the growth of where I'm at.
Yeah, even with us, like the content, like starting it, you know, starting the series and then growing it up. And it's crazy to look back and be like, wow, that was only like 10 months ago.
Yeah, it's
where we
wild.
came out with it. I think also,
and then now everyone, that's why everyone comes over to you and says,
can I get $100?
Do an interview. Yeah.
I don't have $100. I'm not an ATM. It's not even my money.
You should have that one question that like you ask everyone, like some like crazy riddle, and be like,
and nobody's gonna get it.
And no one's ever gonna get it, so they'll never get the money.
So we're like indifferent about like showing people losing. I feel like it sucks to see people losing.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
But we actually came up with a new format for Yid on the Street. So I don't know if this is going to air before or after we start doing that.
By the way, I love the segment. I think it's so cool.
Thank you.
I watch every single one.
Thank you.
Big fan.
Only God knows what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Like, you can only put one foot in front of the other. So don't say anything's impossible. If you feel like this is your path, start taking those steps and you'll see kind of how, like, God opens it up.
Yeah.
For you, it's working.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not like, in Sharbi Tachon, right? It talks about how do you know your business is in the wrong direction.
The Bucky is
when
now.
you don't have time. Shout out to Rabbi Groner. He actually, we learned this piece together. He said, how do you know that your work is not good for you? Is that if you don't have like spirituality or learning in your day.
Right.
If that's taking over that schedule, you know it's
not the right thing.
It's not the right thing. So I think that there's a way to figure out, is what I'm doing correct or not? And that's something you constantly have to monitor.
Right.
Especially in like a volatile situation like you, where, hey, you know, one type of celebrity is reaching out versus another. Like, who am I going to associate myself with? But yeah, let God figure it out. And like, you're kind of seeing Hashem's giving you, you know, God's giving you success.
By the way, very important, and what you were saying before, you have to be looking for it and saying, where's Hashem? Like, where's Hashem in my life? What is He showing me? What I was talking about before is such a clear example. Like, saying no to a huge opportunity, and then very shortly after, and by the way, there is a direct connection, because Trout only followed me because of that other person, because of that first person who I was doing some stuff with, who offered me that 10K and that trip to LA. He followed me because of that. So it's a clear connection.
Wow.
I'm not like just making up like, oh, that must have been because of that. It's a clear connection. No questions asked. It's so important. You have to see Hashem every day, every little thing, even little things. This is a big thing, but like little stupid things. I'm telling you,
connect the dots, man. Connect the dots.
You find the parking spot on Central Avenue, right in front of Crawford's. Like, dude, Hashem, you know.
100%.
That's how it is.
Tell me a little bit about the experience working with Trout or Bregman.
Yeah.
What's that experience like? You know, give us the little bit of behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome. I think for a few reasons. Number one, I grew up a huge sports fan. That was a huge outlet for me as a kid. I love sports, playing sports, watching sports. My dad got me into it, and my siblings.
Mets fan, Yankees fan?
Yankees, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad's a Met fan. I traded.
You're from Queens, but you're a Yankees fan.
Yeah, I turned on my dad, honestly. Like
rough times.
My brother, you know, like first grade, all his friends were Yankee fans, so he became a Yankee fan, then I became a Yankee fan. So all my siblings are Yankee fans.
You're not following the Masora, though?
No, not at all. I don't know how happy my dad is about that, but it's all good. But yeah, no, huge sports fan growing up, and yeah, that's why these opportunities are awesome. Just because to me, it's like, whoa, like I'm in it. You know, it's weird.
It's not a reality until it's a reality.
Yeah, and I think separating that, and another reason why it's awesome is because these guys are so excited, chilled and excited at the same time to see what I have to offer, which is super weird. I showed up to the Angels Stadium on that day. I showed up. I walked down to the dugout where Trout was. I see him standing there. We make eye contact. He sees me. He was more excited to see me than I was to see him. I promise. It was crazy. He looked at me. He like smiled. He pumped his fist. You can see it in the video. It's so funny. And I'm just like standing there. I'm just like standing there like
why?
He is so excited that I'm here right now.
Right.
Which was awesome because it's like this guy's making millions of dollars playing baseball, and I'm just this yeshiva kid coming from Queens to show him some magic tricks, and he's so happy to see me. That's the coolest thing in the world. So
I think it's a testament to that human beings are human beings.
Yeah, everyone's the same.
Everyone's the same.
It's crazy. Like
money, fame, whatever it is.
Yeah, people ask me, like, this is something that I noticed. I couldn't believe myself when I watched the video back how relaxed I look, and people were like, "How, dude? How you,
you look so chill."
Yeah, dude. On the outside,
you were freaking out.
I was freaking out, but like I watched it back, I'm like, dude, I look so relaxed. Like, and I think the bottom line is that once I'm in that zone, I'm in my zone, and everyone's the same. That group of 4 players, there's no difference once I'm like in the zone and like I'm doing my thing. There's no difference between that and I'm at a random corporate event and there's 4 random dudes. Same thing.
Right.
Same thing.
Right.
So
I think it's also a testament to like you being comfortable in your skin. Again, that's what we were talking about before. We're like, dude, God gave you these skills, and like you grew into them. It's you.
Yeah.
So you're just being you. That's why you're comfortable.
Yeah, and I think
You know?
that's also very important in terms of, I know in the beginning of this, you introduced me, and I introduced myself, and then said every word in the book for a magician, but I think the real word is entertainer, because I think that's the most important thing, like being an entertainer and being yourself and just bringing out your personality. Like when I perform, it's just an exaggerated version of my real personality. I'm not changing my personality. I'm not making up some character. It's just a more exaggerated version of myself. So I think once you have that confidence, then you can it does come from time. The more you perform, the better you get. But just having that experience and being able to have my personality like in my show and doing what I'm doing, like that's 90% of the show. Like no jokes. 90-10. I used to think it was like 50-50. I'm like, 50-50. 50% entertainment, 50% trick. Then I changed my mind. I'm like, nah, it's 60-40. 60% entertainment, 40% trick. I'm at the point now where it's 90-10. I can do the simplest trick in my show. Simple. Really simple.
But hype it up.
But really perform it well and have a good act around it. And it's the best.
Okay, this might be a cheesy transition.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say now. Let's see. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's see what you got, bro. And not to be that guy who's gonna ask you to do a magic trick, but I feel like it's just it's just perfect transition over here.
I would absolutely love to. This is awesome, and thank you for having me, by the way.
Of course.
All right, let's do it. We were talking about sports a little bit and how I love sports, so I like to combine the two into my magic. So in my phone, in my notes, I have a list of 100 different athletes. Now, top 100 athletes of all time. It's in no particular order, so it's not like one is the top. It's not like that. It's just a random list.
Okay.
And the reason I do this is because if I just have someone think of an athlete off the top of their head, we get the same 5 options. Some people don't even know sports, so it's kind of hard for them to think of someone. They'll just go like LeBron James, that's just easy for me. So I want this to be legit. So I have in my notes, I have a list of 100 different people. I'm gonna have you basically pick one of those on the list.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have that by you doing this. I want you to think of a number between 1 and 100. Don't tell me, obviously. Okay. But when you have a number, let me know.
Okay, I got it.
You have a number between 1 and 100?
Yeah.
Cool. I got my post-it notes here. I'm going to try to predict which athlete's going to be at the number that you're thinking of. So, look at me. Good. We didn't, before any of this, we didn't...
100%
This
not.
is not, I didn't tell you, think of this number, do this, do that.
100% not.
On the spot. I'll go here.
Dude, if he gets this, it'll be crazy.
I'll go here. Done. Can you hold out your hand like this? I'm just going to put this here.
Okay.
Okay? Just for now, I'll cap the Sharpie. I'll put this away. For the first time ever in my phone, again, I have my notes. Tell everyone watching at home, because I already locked in my prediction.
Okay.
What number were you thinking of?
87.
87. I love this. Look. In my phone, you see my notes?
Yeah.
In my notes, and the camera will get a close-up on this, top 100 athletes of all time. Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown. If I scroll through all these different athletes, and we get to 87, who's 87 on the list?
Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq. You're familiar? Are you sports?
Of course, yeah.
Shaq, yeah.
DJ Diesel.
Yeah.
We know about DJ Diesel.
DJ Diesel, Shaq.
Yeah.
And if you would have said a different number, it's a completely different person. If you would have said 73, that's Deion Sanders. That's not Shaq.
Right.
If you would have said a different number, different person.
Yeah.
But you said 87. Shaquille O'Neal. I wrote one name down on that pad.
I can flip it over?
These match, it's a miracle. Show everybody.
Let's go! You're crazy, bro.
Shaq, everybody. Now,
Shout out to the homie.
Shaq, please come on the...
Yeah, come on, Shaq. Pull through.
There you
Invite
go.
Shlomo to your Miami whatever situation.
Bam.
That's awesome.
There you go. It's a little mind reading. Not bad. You know what? No, I'll take this one step further, though, because that's what I love doing. I love taking things to the next level.
Okay.
So I'll do this. The odds of me getting that is 1 in 100.
Yeah.
There's 100 different options. I want these. I want to up the odds. And if you were right now to, let's say, go online, go on Wikipedia, there's millions of articles to think of. We looked this up before. It was, what was it? It was about 6 million articles, give or take.
Yeah, closer to 7 actually.
Closer to 7. It's a lot. That's more than 1 in 100. Okay. So right now, I want you to think of one of those things. You should have something in mind. I want you to focus on that, okay? And really focus on it. And I want you to continue focusing on it, okay?
Okay.
Good. Keep focusing on that one thing that you had. Look at me. And this is, again, 1 over 6 million. Good. And by the way, again, for the people watching, we didn't set this up.
We did not.
I can't possibly know what this is. You didn't tell anybody what this is.
Nah.
Only you know this.
Yeah.
Look at me. Good. Now I'll be honest. I'm picking.
Am
up
I
on,
hard to read?
No, I'm picking up on something.
Okay.
I don't think this is super random though. I told you to think of something a little bit random. I don't think this is random. I think you went with something. I think you went with something maybe a little specific. Maybe influenced by something that you saw recently or potentially were involved with recently. I'm gonna go here. I'm getting this. Oh, interesting. It's not even something. It is something general, but you had something more specific in mind. You had something more specific in mind. A certain type. I'll go here. I got it. I'm locked in.
There's no way you're getting this.
I hope I
You're
spelled this
crazy.
right. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Say it.
Vanilla ice cream? Bro! What the heck? What the heck? You're crazy. You're crazy. I'm gonna...
There you go. Oh, thank you. I'll take it. There you go.
You're wild, bro. That's unbelievable. Do you have a... I see you have a card. Do you have like a favorite card trick that you love? It's like your...
My card trick?
ASMR.
Yeah.
Card ASMR.
We'll go straight David Blaine style here. 2 aces. I want you just to examine them, make sure they're legit. There's nothing stuck to them. There's nothing attached to them.
Yep.
It's exactly what it seems to be.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to play a little game. It's going to be a quick little game, but it's going to be a fun one. 2 aces. Your job is to follow the ace of spades. We all know the ace of spades.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the picture in there, right? It's easy to follow. So we'll do this. If I leave it second, where is it?
It's going to be second.
If I switch it to the top spot, where is it now? It's on top. Super easy to follow.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Go like this. I'll do it in your hand. Hold on to it. What are you holding?
The ace of spades.
Are you sure? Double check. Make sure it's still there. Oh, it is. Okay, we didn't do anything. That's good.
Bro, I was gonna be like, I did not see anything.
Yeah, no, we got spades here. What is this?
That's clubs.
Clubs,
Ace clubs.
spades, clubs. I'll show you the move before I do anything. So this is the move. You
Okay.
ready? The move is this. I'm going to switch this out like this. Okay?
Okay.
Now I'm going to switch it back, but a lot faster.
Okay.
Follow the ace of spades.
Yeah, I'm
Remember,
following.
ace of spades. Ready? Hold it tight.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3 without looking. Is there any way that I switched it?
No, there's no
No,
way.
I didn't. It's fine. It's good. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Ready? Keep your eye for real this time. 1, 2, 3 without looking. Without looking.
Okay.
Do you think there's any way in the world that I could?
No, there's no way you did that.
So in your mind, which one should this be? Which one should that be?
This is the ace of spades. This is the ace of clubs.
Spades here, clubs here.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
sure?
you gave me the clubs in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I was holding onto the clubs?
Yeah, and then I switched them out. So
Okay, so this is ace of spades. This
spades
is ace
here,
of
clubs here.
Yeah.
I think that's what people at home would say too. Turn them over. Yeah, none of the above. That's the queens.
You're crazy. This guy is crazy.
Yeah, that's what's up.
What
There
the
you go.
heck,
So
bro?
wild, no?
Yeah. Neither, huh?
Just the queens.
He just made a big play about which was the spades and the clubs, what are people going to say at home.
You're crazy,
By the way, we didn't
dude.
set this up. Like this is
No, this is real.
happening live.
This
in
is
Take
real,
Picture
not
Studios.
real, not real magic.
Yeah, real, not real magic. Exactly.
Wow.
But there you go.
That's
Pretty
wild, dude. Unbelievable.
This is what I do. This
It's
is
awesome. It's such a good vibe.
Yeah.
I think also what's so fun about magic or the mind reading stuff is like it's such a good icebreaker. It's such a great way to just like start chilling with someone.
Oh yeah,
Just like
dude. I could have the connections that I could make with people on a day-to-day basis. It's incredible. If there's any sort of ice that needs to be broken, this is absolutely perfect. And even so, I'll do a lot of events where I'll do like walk around magic, like close up, card tricks, mind reading, where I'm kind of walking around group to group, person to person. And I'll just walk up to people and I'll say, hey, what's up, guys? My name is Shlomo. I'm the magician. Can I show you guys something? And whatever they say, doesn't matter, yes or no, whatever. that's a perfect intro to me to lead in and say, okay, let's do this. And once we get into it, the air in the room is just becomes light. It gets lifted.
Yeah.
Whether it's with a small group, a big group, and again, if I'm walking around for an hour, the tension is gone by the end of the hour.
It's amazing.
And I tell people all the time, especially with, like let's say you're in a corporate setting, and these people only know themselves in their office space. As friendly as they are in the office, they're not friends out of the office. Probably not. And when you're at, let's say, a holiday party or you're at an event where now you have to hang out with each other in a more, a less formal setting and a more relaxed setting, sometimes it could be awkward. Like, it could be a little bit like, I don't know, not chill.
Stiff.
Yeah, a little stiff,
Yeah,
right?
it's stiff.
So that's why, like, if I'll do that, I love, like, at the end of the night, I'll smile because, like, you walk in, it's like a little bit like, and then you just go over to people, open people up.
Wow.
Again, get that kind of like that stiffness, like, out of the room and get it relaxed based on the laughs or getting people to work together, kind of team building a little bit. And, like, by the end of the night, it's just everyone's partying. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, I find satisfaction in that. Like, at the end of the night when I see the room and I'm like, this is what I love doing.
Yeah, man, you're bringing people closer together with your talents, putting smiles on people's faces. You're a walking example of, like, balancing your life and having that, having that balance. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
It's good vibes.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Come back.
Yeah, dude.
We're keeping them, like, quick, short, nothing too long.
That's the way to go.
Um,
People don't have attention spans.
yeah.
People don't.
Or it's also like people are busy, like
Yeah.
you're not Joe Rogan, you don't have them for 2 hours.
I love the direction that like the conversation went, and I think like it's super important for especially kids to realize like don't not do something because everyone else is not doing it. So important. Don't not do something because other people don't do it. Like don't stop yourself from doing what you think is cool and what you enjoy doing because no one else does it.
Right.
And I think it lends itself sometimes to, I don't know. I feel like there's, especially in certain areas, and I'll say this straight up about magic. I'll be completely blunt with you. There's a certain stigma that magicians are not personable, or that they're a little bit, interesting.
Right.
As their actual personality as a person. I think that if you are into magic, or if you're into anything, and there is that stigma, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you'll be the cool one. You'll be the one who's...
Because you are you.
You are you, and you know what? You'll change that trend because you'll be the cool magician. You'll be the personable magician. You'll be the personal musician. You'll be the personal artist. You'll be the person that people say, you know what? I want to go to that guy because he is personable. I want to go to that person because he is normal. And I think that's so important. You'll be happy, everyone else will be happy, and then you'll be on your way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the real magic right there.
Powerful, yeah.
It is powerful.